Number 23. Splitting apart. Disbelief in the power of non-action or in the power of just being. It does not further one to go anywhere. Doubt and fear have already caused us to split apart from our path or threaten to do so. The primary doubt is whether we will achieve our goal through following the path of docility and inaction, and by simply clinging to the power of the truth to correct the situation through letting it in our attitude. We are afraid to allow matters to take their course. We think we have to influence the situation through some action or plan. Even to contemplate intervention is to split apart from our path. When we split apart from our true path, we turn matters over to the inferior man and the inferiors. We often receive this hexagram when we think we must arm ourselves against a situation that will be embarrassing, will compromise our principles, or lead to new difficulties. To take preventative action, or to contemplate doing so, is to split apart. We need instead to trust that we will receive the protection we need. For so long as we insist on defending ourselves, the higher power will leave us to our own devices. Through distrust, we isolate ourselves from help. Whatever we do through our own devices will prove either inadequate or defective, so that at worst we will have had a destructive effect, or at best we will have prevented the situation from progressing. Going with the flow enables the creative to do its work. Splitting apart can also refer to times when we lose our conscientiousness and drift into abandoning our responsibilities. Abandonment occurs when we let people go, but not in kindliness. As it is put in youthful folly, we should bear with fools in kindliness. Abandonment also occurs when we give people up as unable to rescue themselves, or when we think they'll never relate to us properly. We also receive this hexagram when we have returned to the correct path after having split apart from it. This hexagram may refer to other people splitting from their paths. During such times, we should submit and take no action or role. Instead, we should be docile, go our own way, and leave the evil thing to collapse on itself. Even though those from whom we disengage may suffer adversities, the adversities will provide them with the opportunities needed to learn what is correct. The superior man does not fear adversity. He understands that it is often the only means by which we may grow and correct decadent attitudes towards life. Thus, with its adversity is the workplace for developing our higher consciousness. This does not mean, of course, that we should court adversity or be glad when others have it. Adversity is to be avoided if possible, but when it does occur, we should view it moderately and derive every possible lesson from it so to avoid needing to have the lesson repeated. Changing line number 1. Followers of the ruler are destroyed. Doubt and fear have undermined a firm and persevering attitude. We feel impelled to focus, to force matters to a conclusion. The first evidence of this doubt is our holding to grievances and injuries, storing them up as conditions that must be rectified. True, they must be rectified, but not as a condition that must be forgive me. First evidence of doubt is our holding to grievances and injuries, storing them up as conditions that must be rectified. True, they must be rectified, but not in response to the ego's demand. We must leave the work of correction and punishment to the sage. Meanwhile, we relinquish inner resistance, develop an open-minded acceptance of the way the cosmos works, and trust that it does whatever is necessary to benefit and balance the whole. Changing line number 2. Those who persevere are destroyed. Clear indications of danger occur when we think, I don't care what happens. When we insist on coddling anger or other negative emotions, the danger and difficulty of our position is increased. The line also refers to times when, after returning to acceptance, we are tempted to do something to improve relations. We should return to neutrality and disengagement. Changing line number 3. He splits with them. No blame. Here we retreat from the evil influences that occur in the first 2 lines. We remember the help of the sage and gain the stability to oppose our clamoring inferiors. This line may indicate that someone else is splitting from wrongdoing to return to the correct path. Changing line number 4. The bed is split apart. The bed is split up to the skin. Misfortune. Even though we correct our attitude, the trajectory of events launched by our splitting apart must run its damaging course. Nevertheless, the damage has reached its peak. Changing line number 5. A shoal of fishes. When our attitude becomes correct, a change in conditions is brought about, much as when a shoal of fishes changes direction in unison. When we give up striving to force change through conflict and leverage, the inferior element capitulates and ceases resisting and competing. Acceptance leads to success. Changing line 6. There is a large fruit still uneaten. The correct path, which throughout the splitting apart has been held in doubt, is now vindicated in our mind. Evil in others always feeds off the evil it finds in us. Fear and doubt are sources of the dark energy. If we hold perseveringly to neutrality, evil becomes exhausted and dies. When it dies, good is the seed of the new that remains. A good effect on others is the large fruit that has been produced by our work and perseverance. This ends Hexagram 23.